Hi, I'm John. I'm the Ops Director at TrustFord. I've been with the company nearly 14 years, having joined in 2005 as a Regional Director and was promoted in 2013 onto the main board as the Group Operations Director.
Hi, and I'm Sharon Ashcroft. I'm HR Director. I also joined the same year as John. That must have been a good year, John. And I started off as a regional HR manager and now a HR director on the main board along with John.
Yeah, the company is wholly owned by Ford Motor Company. In fact, we are the largest Ford dealer-owned group in the world, and Ford became our sole shareholder in 2004. In 2014, we rebranded all our sites, dealerships in the UK, Northern Ireland and Channel Islands under the TrustFord banner. Yeah, in terms of turnover, last year we turned over £1.7 billion. We sold in excess of 100,000 vehicles. We sold approximately 1 million after-sales hours and £135 million worth of parts. So this is a big organisation to be part of.
Our greatest achievement is being listed in the Sunday Times top 25 best big companies to work for. Something we're really, really proud of because it's what our colleagues say. So it's a survey that colleagues complete, not a beautifully written submission from marketing. So again, we sell a lot of cars, but Sunday Times is what we're really proud of.
The great thing about that as well is that that's for the 4th year running, so it's something that is sustainable, and that's a really, really great reflection on all the colleagues that work in the organisation and part of the TrustFord family.
Some of the challenges we have is it's a male-dominated industry, and it's hard for them to sometimes show their feelings towards colleagues. So what I'm saying is we lacked emotional intelligence in some of our managers in how they would go about things. Everything is driven by hard KPIs. So that was really difficult to get the organisation to move from a hard KPI into understanding some softer skills. But we just focus back onto happy staff, happy customers equals happy profits. And that's how I got the ops team back into that space to understand that they don't want the turnover because that costs them more money. They don't want the feedback from customers saying it's not been happy experience, and they want the profits. So it's kind of a win-win in terms of how leading emotions dovetails into what the business organisation is trying to achieve, which is ultimately profit. It's probably fair to say that leading emotions we broke down into 3 categories, which was how do I look after myself, how do I then look after my colleagues, and how do I then look after the customers, which aligns straight back to our PPA and also help people articulate and understand how they looked after colleagues because they're looking after themselves.
Yeah, the Leading Emotions programme has gone down really well in the organisation. So we took people from grade 6 colleagues who are supervisory positions within the organisation. That then went into line managers, operational people, leadership team, boards, even our chairman and chief executive has engaged in the programme. So, and it's gone down really, really well. And what that has brought is made us think about, as an individual myself, I thought about myself and, my well-being, how I behave as an individual, how I work as part of a team, and the real benefit then of understanding what we all need and the collaboration then that you get from the benefit of good teams working together.
For me, reflective practice. Automotive industry is very, very fast paced, and it has to be. We're retail, so we have to be agile. But sometimes you're 100 miles an hour and there's no time to stop and pause and think, what next? So for me, and I know in the organisation now some people do that, they will just blank time out literally to do admin or to do emails, so they've got time to think and reflect instead of it just being charging forward.
Well, for me as an individual, I actually go to the gym 3 times a week now, and that gives me, that takes me out of the work environment. So, I think I've really benefited from that. I drink more water and less fizzy stuff. And really just endorsing what Sharon has said around, I think people are more reflective now. I think we are nice people to do business with. We do have a purpose, and I think it's brought some real benefits to everybody across the organisation.
People hold people to account, so they'll say things, well, where does that fit into leading emotions? An example would be trying to get managers to think more openly around flexible working. Instead of just saying, no, we can't do that, they're now taking a step back and saying, well, how can we make this work? Rather than, this won't work for our organisation. We purchased water bottles, so personalised water bottles for all the grade 6 and above. So instead of just saying drink more water, it's like, here's something as well that the organisation has purchased for you with your name on, so that you can drink more water. So just some little things like that in helping reinforce it, so that it's not just a once-only project.
Yeah, and finally, I think it's in terms of recognition of TrustFord, we're getting a lot of recognition at the moment. Sharon touched on the best companies, Sunday Times best companies. We've also had a lot of industry recognition. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were the AM Dealer Group of the Year, 10 sites and above. We've won numerous fleet awards. We've won numerous awards in terms of our marketing strategy, in terms of campaigns we've done. So I think it's contributed towards that recognition, which is getting us, it's winning us business, it's getting us some great customer feedback.
Well, the hard metrics, to be honest, the hard metrics haven't moved in terms of attrition and retention. But what we have seen is what's coming out of the exit interview. So the exit interviews are more enriched around, because we're asking the right questions. So instead of exit interviews being a bit of a tick box, you fit into that category, we're seeing the things coming through. An example would be where we are seeing relationship with manager come through as a reason for leaving, we would have just, okay, that's it. We're now going digging. Why? What is it about that manager that's not engaging those individuals? Is he aligned or she to leading emotions? And interestingly, just talking around HR working with operations, where we have got managers who are churning colleagues, operations have actually put a KPI into that manager's bonus payment around attrition and retention. So again, it's around what we're doing differently and what operators are doing differently, instead of just accepting it's the same.
And in terms of, with my operational head on, in terms of the business performance for the group, the group's had some really good results over the last 5 years in terms of our financial performance, and we had a record year in 2017, making in excess of £15 million. We exceeded our financial budget in 2018. So in terms of the numbers, in terms of the PBT, we have made some real progress. The volumes, we've driven the volumes in terms of the number of vehicles and hours and parts that we sell. 1 in 4 commercial vehicles sold in the UK last year were sold by TrustFord. So there is some sort of hard facts and numbers. We haven't done that by accident. And I just think this underpins and contributes towards the DNA of the organisation. So I think there's been some real benefits. And from a customer point of view as well, we have some fantastic testimonials in terms of Trustpilot reviews. That they're for everybody to see all day, every day. From a fleet point of view, strategically, fleet and CV is really important to us. And some of the feedback we get in terms of our SLAs is just, it's just absolutely fantastic.
Straightforward, makes it happen, measures, and it's engaging.
Simple in the right context. It comes from within, and it's quite seamless in terms of, you would think the engagement coach is part of us, which is really important, that in a collaborative way, that you are part of the family.
I would say if you're going to be thinking of investing in a leadership development programme, think about stepping outside the box and not following the stereotypical route, and do something different. And you can do something different through the engagement coach, because I had an idea around emotional intelligence and I just that out to the engagement coach and they made it happen. And we can now see that really making a difference within our organisation.